Miranda with Ozric Tentacles here at the Botanique in Brussels. This tour marks the 30th anniversary of this brilliant band, and it's an absolute honor and great pleasure to have you guys with us. About these 30 years, I'm really curious to know, if you look back at the band from what it was at its infancy, what are the things that you can identify that really haven't changed, that are just still the exact same, and that are immortal in the band? Like, what still carries this Ozric Tentacle vibe to it, even though you guys have changed members and things like that? What stayed?
Well, I hate to say it, but I think it's my fault. Because I've been in it since the beginning. It was my idea, and I just pick the flavors that I feel to pick, and it kind of has this thread going through it.
The music's intentions always stay the same.
Yeah. It's the same feeling. We're saying get up in the mind, you know, to put it politely. And also live, there's a lot of tracks we're playing that we used to play really early on. So, you know, yeah.
Have there been things in terms of development of the band that you really just wouldn't have imagined happened when you looked at the back? Like the kind of styles that you guys adopted, the kind of just directions or collaborations that you've had? Is there something where you thought like, whoa, that was a surprise?
Many years ago, the fact that we started playing reggae was a surprise, you know.
You've always been quite good at reggae, though.
Yeah, but then there was this... We heard this band Here and Now, actually, which is a band in England, and they started doing some space reggae. And I saw people jumping about and having a lot of fun to that. And I thought, well, that's fun, you know. And so we kind of took a little note from their book and tried a bit of that. And it seemed to work well, actually.
Really,
what else? The other
really
thing
funny in Minneapolis. We went to play Minneapolis the other day in this real dubstep venue, and there was loads of people running around going, you know, sort of thank you for inventing dubstep.
Did you invent dubstep then? Are you responsible for this?
It's not really for me to say. Some people think so.
There's a few tracks they refer to as that dubstep bit. You know, you're like, was it dubstep? Really? Okay, cool.
The other thing I didn't expect is the fact that we'd still be here now, 30 years later, doing the same thing.
I mean, since I have the chance to be here with you guys, I really want to talk to you about psychedelics. And like that's obviously like that it's a glue to the scene. It's something, you know, undeniable. And I mean, what relationship do you have with psychedelics in your music making now? Like what influence does it have?
Well, quite a lot in a way, yeah. You know.
Okay, fine, just go out and say it then.
Well, it was a fairly direct question there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that they put things in perspective in a certain way. I used to enjoy it quite a lot at times.
You have to, like, you'd be really concerned about a track and you just think, oh, it's not really doing anything, and you're a bit worried about it, and you just kind of set it aside, and then suddenly you listen to it in another state, and you kind of go, oh.
Are there many tracks like that where at the beginning you thought, nah, it's not getting there, and then you listen to it on a trip and you thought, fucking hell, that's great? Is that, yeah?
No, come on, it totally is for me that way.
No,
I hear that all the time.
Okay. No, I don't. I find that
I'm more paranoid.
I try and get it right without too much in the head, you know, so that it's working anyway, because not everybody's on psychedelics all the time, you know. They've got to, you know, people have to enjoy without, and so that's my thing. I'm my happiest is if someone says, this is great, I can enjoy your music, and it means I don't have to take any drugs, because it makes me very, very high, and that's what makes me happiest, to be honest, really.
Maybe it's because we've been making weird music for so long, though. Sometimes you start to think things sound a bit normal, and then you hear it in another state and go, wait, never mind. Yeah. Maybe that's not normal at all.
What do you think makes your music weird, if that's something you describe it as?
Well, I try to make normal music, actually. It doesn't work. Actually, that's a... yeah, I mean, we get used to the sound of our own band, obviously, you know. So in the studio, we're just doing what we do, and it just does sound fairly normal.
And you try and add in a few odd bits, you know, because that's what you do. It's funny, and you don't think they're that odd in relation to the last track you did, but then you have to remember maybe that track was a bit odd in the first place.
And then you put the radio on, and it's so blooming bland and normal that by comparison to that, we're off the planet. You know?
That, thank God for that. But I mean, about modern music, there's a lot of crap on it. Do you think there's more crap now than there was before? And yeah.
No, I think it's always been 99% crap. For me, anyway.
I have to admit, though, the radio in London this time getting there is absolutely abysmal to listen to. I kind of understand the new tracks, but everything's so over-compressed it hardly comes out of the speakers anymore. It's like the speakers trying to push and pull at the same time. And it's yeah, and so they compress it like crazy, and then the radio compresses it again, and like by the end, it's just like this sort of
Yeah.
jerking subwoofer that can't really make any sounds
But
anymore.
I've always tried to sort of counteract the straight music in the world. You know, I've always tried to do that, and it's maybe a bit cheeky, but for my own pleasure in the first place. Because I used to listen to tracks and think, a nice intro, great. Oh, here comes the singing. Okay, forget it. You know, and it's potentially really good. And I thought, well, why not make the potential be there and actually go there and take people right out and back again and land them in a nice place, you know? But I mean, why not, you know? For me, normality is drabdom.
But I think this cheekiness of yours paid off really well, because one of the things I really admire you guys is the fact that you've lasted 30 years without backing. You've been independent, you've been doing your own thing, and you've been completely free. And that's a thing that's really admirable, because these days, you know, okay, we fucking need money, and that's the problem. And like, so what do we do? But so in these 30 years of experience, like, I think there's so many artists out there that really want to know, how did you do it? Like, what do you need to warn people about if you're going to take that road?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it if you want to have a guaranteed safe and comfortable life. Because with this stuff, you're either up or you're down. And the lucky thing for us lot is when we're down, our complete reliance is not on financial things. We're happy with very little as long as we have a studio, some food, and good company, really, you know. So yeah, sometimes it gets very, very thin. We're sometimes scraping in the back of the sofa for coins to buy yesterday's bread, you know. And then suddenly you'll make some move, and then you'll do a tour or something, and you get paid well for a gig, and suddenly you're walking around like royalty for a bit, you know. And then next couple of weeks later, you're down again, and you get used to that roller coaster ride. But I don't think money coincides with happiness.
In terms of live experience that you guys want, what is the one thing that you really hope that the audience gets across? Like, if there's like an ideal experience that the audience could have, what would it be? What kind of trip do you want them to have?
Depends what they need, really.
That's the thing about the no lyrics, is you're not telling them which way you're leaving it up to them to create their own world from it. And the amount of different things I've had people come up and say, some of them that they've found God in the music that day, you know, and you know, wow, amazing. The amount of people who've come up and said, I used to be a heroin junkie until I heard Ozric Tentacles and it changed my life. I've now been clean and I can get just as high off your music and I don't need to do this, kill myself, you know. And it's just, but what each person can take from it is probably, hopefully, what each person needs to take for it from it.
On a cosmic level, we're trying to heal people's spirits, basically. Really make them whole and make them fly and make them see the potential of the world. And the fact that everybody can just enjoy this place much more than they do, because people think it's a very cold place, some people, you know. Whereas it's a garden to play in. And we're not here for very long, and let's open our minds and get out there and do it, you know.
I got something for you guys here. I got some quotes by some unidentified people. Okay. And I'd like you to pick a quote each.
All right.
Go for it. It could work. We can try that. Yeah, go for it. And so I want you to read them out and think, how do you relate to it?
Mine says the human voice is the first and most natural musical instrument, also the most emotional. I'm going to have to disagree with that, because the nature, we obviously use no voice at all to hopefully have a nice voice, and quite emotional, I think, for some people.
Do you actively push away voices? Do you think it's, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I mean, occasionally if there's something really silly and spaced out, but we don't like putting imagery into music. I mean, we like the imagery to be there, but we don't want to tell you what it is, you know. Again, we like to leave it to each person. And We have lighting guys. We've had it when they do the projections. Sometimes I have to say, look, I don't want pictures of aliens in the light show because that's not necessarily what it's about. And maybe it is for some people, but...
Well, you got an easy one.
Yeah.
I got, if God dropped acid, would he see people? Okay, well, I don't know whether it would make much difference, actually. I think God sees the world through people.
If God sees people.
Maybe it'd be like a cosmic mirror, and he might see himself as people reflected in a cosmic mirror. It's a tricky one. I'm not really qualified to answer that. I'll have to give that a maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Do you want to try another one?
Oh my God, these are really...
Everything on this planet has something to do with music. Music functions in the reality of sculptured air.
Yeah, I think I'd probably agree with that one, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure everything has something to do with music. I suppose everything can potentially make a sound. Therefore, if you organise those sound vibrations, they can become music. Yeah, I think...
I'm pinning that on the fridge.
Which one?
It says, to me, absurdity is the only reality. That has to go on the tour bus fridge. Can I keep that one? Great, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have said that with that, yeah, if you lose your sense of humour, it's not so good, really.
If you wake up on a tour bus every day, you'll definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Should we go in one last one?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Aww. Do you need me to redo it?
Yeah.
That's a D, that is. Sorry, I was like, I don't know that word. To describe externals, you become a scientist. To describe experience, you become an artist.
That's clever.
I like that.
Oh, that's quite good, that one. Yeah, I'd agree with that, I think. In general terms, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of realms, I would think author can be considered an artist as well.
Timothy Leary.
Timothy Leary. All right, good. I'm okay with that one. Yeah. And this is a good Ozric quote. Once you take yourself too seriously, the art will suffer.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a definite motto.
Seems to mirror what you were saying earlier on.
Absolutely, yeah, that makes total sense. Well done, whoever wrote that.
We have a few friends who might fall into this category. Yeah. Guys, come on. We're on a prog rock label, come on. A few of them might get a little serious. So.
Since you guys have changed lineup so much, I was wondering, what is it that you guys see in a musician where you think he's a keeper, he's someone we would like to play with?
We've got one in there playing right now. You guys need to go check him out. I really want you guys to get a minute of film on him. You just hear him and he makes you move. Like, you just can't hold still.
But what we look, yeah, I mean, it's many things. They've got to be a really amazing player for a start.
Not necessarily.
No, but I mean, they've got to be pretty good.
They have to be smiling.
Yeah. They have to enjoy what they're doing. It has to light their fire, and get them excited. And I encourage them to go mental, crazy, at first, to see where they will go. And
I love a lot of bands that can't play very well. I love Ween because they just seem like they're having fun, don't they? I mean, they claim they're not, but I think that's just a publicity thing. They claim they don't like each other, but they're brothers.
Still at it?
Yeah. 25 years later, I think they probably are.
Would you play with Ween?
Sure.
Ozric Tentacles Ween, that'd be
all right.
epic, yeah. Wow.
interesting night, that would be interesting.
Listen, I think we covered it all. I think it's really, thank you guys so much for giving us time.
Hey, we're having way too much fun. I hope you enjoy our fabulous new drummer.
We will, definitely. On this tour, maybe can you give me like one little wacky story that happened or something a bit challenging or...
On this tour so far, what's happened?
Oh gosh, I can't even remember. It's been pretty odd.
We bought a bus, which is very strange. Yeah, we bought a bus, which is now bus number 3 for me. They get better, each one. First one was like a pirate ship. Second one was like a sort of tourist coach. And this one's more like a cosmic red spaceship. So we're very happy in there, and it works. And so, yeah, we can be like modern hippies in a bus, can't we?
Yeah, we won't tell the wacky stories that have happened. No. Those need to stay on the...
Nothing horrible. Just,
Nothing horrible, just
no casualties, a few spaced out heads, you know. It's a little bubble of tranquility throughout the world.
Yeah.
It has to come with your tours anyway to have some space heads. I mean, if you had a tour without, that'd be impressive. Cool.
We're all very, very normal on the bus. Nothing weird ever happens. We're very straight. We just read books, yeah.
You certainly read the Financial Times.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you got to keep yourself up. Especially on tour.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw a newspaper?
Quite a long time ago, actually, yeah. It's all good though, yeah.
Wonderful.
All right.
Thanks again, guys.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.